You just button down a few of them. Now you have a dress. Hi everyone, I'm Angelina and this is Blueprint DIY, where we remake our clothes to be just as unique as us. I am super excited to do another request by a subscriber, and this one is from Letitia Wilson, Tisha Labisha on Instagram. And so she sent me this. The hoodie is from the show Power 2 Ghost, the Ghost edition, and it was worn on there. It is originally by Monse, one of my favorite brands, because everything they do looks upcycled, and so I get a lot of inspiration from them. But yes, I love this hoodie and I thought I would try it. I started out with this hoodie. Yes, it needs a lot of help ironing, but I started out with this hoodie because it was too small for me. I didn't think that using an oversized hoodie to start off was a good idea since we're going to be cutting it open. So I started off with this one, as well as a plaid button down shirt. It's not quite a flannel like the inspiration, but I really like the print on this one. It looks really preppy, and that's kind of what I was going for. So let's see if we can do this one, and I guarantee you don't want to miss the styling because it has double options, and I know you guys love double options. So let's do it. All right, I have the hoodie here and I have my flannel, and I want to share with you guys, when I'm doing these type of projects, I do have my phone here with the picture to follow and look at. I of course never have to exactly follow it, but for you guys, if you guys send me a suggestion, I know that, you know, a lot of times you want it to at least, you know, be as close to that as possible, at least that exact vibe. All right, so I have the sweatshirt here. Another thing about the sweatshirt is that this is a raglan sleeve hoodie, and the inspiration is not. It has a drop sleeve, like off your shoulder where the line of the sleeve goes, and I really like that. So I'm going to imitate that versus taking this whole sleeve off, and it's also going to be easier. So I'm going to cut the sleeve off down here where it's going to hit off my shoulder. So when I measure these in comparison, it's a good thing because I don't have enough to go all the way up to the top. So it works out perfectly that I was going to do that. So I'm going to cut somewhere in here. Of course, you're going to cut a little bit higher to give yourself seam allowance. And I'm going to cut this a little bit lower so that when I sew them together, you know, it gives me a little bit of seam allowance. And it's going to need to be taken in to match this once we put them on, but we'll do that in a minute. So next, we're going to open up the side, and it's up to you how much of the side you open up and how you open it up. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to push this back, and I'm going to start to play around with how do I want to cut off this shirt. So I'm just going to put it inside and start to pull it out. So definitely I want this button part to angle down like that. It can hang down a lot, it can hang down a little, it's up to you. So basically the hoodie is then sewn to the flannel shirt with this button placard going down to the side. It's sewn across, I'm assuming, like right here underneath the pocket. Then there's a piece to the side that gets sewn together to itself, and the hoodie actually gets sewn to the flannel. So what I'm actually going to do is take a piece of soap, and I'm going to just mark on the shirt where I think that I want to cut. And we're going to be very generous with how we cut this because yeah, we don't want to mess it up. So well, actually we'll be cutting it up here. So, and you are going to need to be pretty fearless on this project because there's no right answer, and I know a lot of you like there to be a definite right and wrong answer, but this one is not like that. Everybody's is going to turn out slightly different. So if you're married to the idea that it has to look exactly like the photo, yeah, you might want to let go of that for this project. All right, so we're going to take the hoodie and the extra sleeve away, and I'm going to fold this in half. So let me trace out, and hopefully I can put some lines on the screen so you see exactly what I'm about to cut. There's a line here. It goes up towards the shoulder, and then it goes back down towards the button placket. And actually this line here goes all the way over. Let me pull it up. I'm just gonna cut all the way through to the back. I am not gonna cut directly on these lines. I'm gonna give myself a nice amount of seam allowance. And when I say a nice amount of seam allowance, I mean like an inch. So this is what we end up having. Well, let me turn it back to the side so you guys can see it all. Before I pin anything, I'm actually going to take this to my serger and go ahead and serge it. If you don't have a serger, you can use fray check on the edges to keep them from unraveling. And while I am serging that, just a quick reminder to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, we're almost to 200,000. That's going to be another giveaway. And share this video so everyone knows that there is amazing stuff going on right here. Everyone needs to know about upcycling. Let them know. All right, so I went and serged this, and now I'm going to turn it right side to right side so that I can sew up the edge. And this is the edge that goes down the side that we opened. So I am going to go and stitch this closed, and then we'll start pinning it to the sweatshirt. All right, so we have that sewn together, and we're going to start to pin. Now, of course, we're not going to need all of this back piece. We'll adjust that after we get it pretty much sewn to a sweatshirt, because we're dealing with a sweatshirt, which is a stretchy material. So I didn't want to cut and then not have enough. So that's the reason for doing it like this really makeshift kind of way. These things, you're not doing them to pattern, so you can't predict exactly what's going to happen. Even with patterns, you can't 100% predict, but this is a little bit different than a pattern. And I'm just going to start pinning it to the back portion first. All right. So now I can start pinning it to the front portion. Oh, I forgot, I do want to add a serger edge to this. All right, so I went and serged it. I really do like that we use the navy blue. You guys saw me pin it to the back, so now I'm going to turn it over so that I can do the front. And one of the purposes of this pinning is not only to sew it, but to see, you know, if it looks right before we actually sew this down. So you want to pin it enough so that you can kind of lift it up and see if it is going to look right. Yeah, we're actually only going to have a little bit left at the end. Let's turn it right side out. I think we can begin to pin the portion. After you hold it up, see if you like it. Let's talk about how you're going to sew this before we go over to the sewing machine. When you are sewing something like this and it's freaking crazy and you're just trying to, you know, like mesh two things together, do a quick upcycle or whatever, you always want to make sure your seams line up. So I want to make sure that this seam is lined up with this seam. So that means that I'm going to start sewing there. So I'm going to put my foot pedal there, go down one side and go around to the edge. Then I'm going to go back to this point, down the other side and around the back. So that way, at least it looks nice and professional in that way, in that my seam is lined up. All right, so I'm up at the seam where the seams meet, and I'm going to sew fairly close to the serged edge. Just because I want to kind of hide it a little bit. And because there's so many layers going on, you want to really make sure that you are, you know, going little by little to make sure there's no extra layers in your seam. All right, so done that. Now I'm gonna go over to the side and I'm gonna sew it right above, or no, right below this little pocket seam, or the seam that's at the waistband. And since I am top stitching, I am using matching thread, and that's gonna help this out. Oh shoot. Okay, that's gonna help this out a whole lot. I thought I'd sewn extra layers, so I'm stitching in the ditch, so to speak. I'm gonna get right up to that side seam, but not all the way, because we may have to take out some on the side. Okay, that's about enough. I'm an inch away. All right, now I'll go back up to that side seam where we started and do the back side. All right, so here it is sewn together for the most part, except for this edge right here. We're gonna go ahead and turn it inside out so we can make that adjustment, and we can also pin our sleeve down. This is a Champion jersey. I saw somebody talking about how when we were younger, Champion was like basic Walmart brand, and now people are like rushing towards trying to get it. It's funny. I'm going to take this in on the side so that it is exactly, you know, what I need. I'm gonna try to get it so that it's dead on the side seam. We can use some pins to make sure that happens, and then just pull it out to make sure that's accurate. Yep. And then we can go ahead and pin that all the way down the side. So I'm going to take that in on the side, and then I can finish stitching that top stitch. Now let's do this sleeve, and you can kind of see how this looks on the inside if you're interested. All right, so we are going to pin the new sleeve, and I'm gonna actually just, you know, use the top as the reference because it's going to get taken in, and we're going to do it the exact same way. I'm not going to pre-take it in because this is a stretchy material, and once it starts sewing, it may end up being the same, like, and it may not. So I'm just going to start at the top and pin that down. We could actually clip these if we wanted to. And honestly, if I feel like it's going to be close, and it is going to be very close, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start here, stretch it just a tiny bit if it needs it, so that I won't take out that nice seam that's at the underside of a lot of men's button-up shirts. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be pretty close. We're going to take that to the sewing machine and sew it together. All right, last up, let me show you something. I wish I had not have stretched it because it's coming out like that. You can see it there. Yeah, even a little bit, and it's just bleh. I don't care for it. So I am trying to, I'm going to see if this works. If not, then I'll have to just take it all loose and do it again. But I'm going to see if adding a decorative stitch, like almost like an overlocking stitch to the edge, will keep it from doing that little puckering, ruffling, whatever it's doing. So we're going to see. I have it on 29, that stitch there. And we're going to see if that works. So far it seems to be working, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest. If not, I'll be one seam ripping sister. Next time you see it, you'll see whether I'm seam ripping or not. All right, so let's see how it turned out.
I love when it feels right. It is just one of these nights. Love so strong, can't be wrong. All because of you. I love when it feels nice. You're the apple of my eye. Love so strong, can't be wrong. All because of you. 'Cause I love it. Love when it feels right.
Yes, I absolutely love it. But I will say that I did start out being a little bit disappointed because I'm like, it's so long. I should have made it shorter to make it more like the inspiration piece. But guess what? If you just button down the buttons that I kept aligned, thank you, mind. I kept them aligned. If you just button down a few of them, now you have a dress.
You know you got me. I love the things you do. Maybe I'm getting into trouble, but I just wanna be your lover. 'Cause you're making me feel. I love
So it is a top and a dress, and I'm super excited about this. I absolutely love it. This is definitely going to be one of my staple pieces. It gives me the vibes like that button-down dress, that super easy button-down dress that I made. And in that, you can dress it up, dress it down. You can, I mean, gosh, dog, wear it to bed, wear it wherever you want to. It's just such an amazing, versatile, comfy piece, and I absolutely love it. So definitely let me know which one you like better. Do you like this style as a dress or a top better? Would you have made it shorter to make it just a top, or would you keep it versatile and, you know, change it up sometimes? Let me know in the comments. And if you are just not there yet, you need some inspiration either to help you execute your upcycles or just the push to get them done, please hit that join button down below and become a member, Team Renegade VIP Supreme member, so that you can join my my class. We're having such a good time. They all toasted the Blueprint Signature launch, and I do want to say thank you guys so much for making that launch successful. There's so much more work to do, but just like when I started my YouTube channel 8 years ago, I think of it in the same way. That's just the start. It has a lot of work to do. So I'm just so grateful for you guys, your support, you cheering me on, and so I just wanted to say thank you. So go to BlueprintSignature.com and check out the amazing pieces, crop trench coats, I'm the Blueprint blazers, crop button downs with the ruffle. Yes, go check that out. And if you haven't subscribed, definitely hit that subscribe button down below. We do new videos every Thursday and every Saturday just for you. And I have 2 other hoodie tutorials for you right here. You don't want to miss it. One has a zipper, so it comes down off the shoulders. You can zip it up in the wintertime, zip it down in the summertime. So versatile. As well as the one that I have on, which is the corset hoodie. So definitely go check those out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!